Hey, this is Sarah Pritchett, confidence coach for women. And today I want to talk about one question that I get oftentimes via email or on surveys a lot is about how to build up your confidence. And no matter where you are in this journey, where you are in your life, this is valuable information that you can utilize, right? Because even if you were 50 years old or 60 years old, you can have an experience that occurs that kind of seeks to tear you down or lowers that confidence, right? It doesn't matter if you're 14, you're 45, or you're 24, right? Having a certain level of confidence is important, but confidence is not something you get overnight. Let's be clear. It is something that is cultivated over time. And as a woman, that is a very important skill to know and to learn. And I'm blessed that I had the opportunity to cultivate my own fierce confidence over the last several years. And I'm able to share with you the wisdom. If we think about our confidence, but we think about the word build, right? And I picked the word build in particular because, for one, that's the word that a lot of women use when they reach out to me. But it's an important word because when we build something, think about confidence as in if you're building something, say you're building a house, what is the first thing you're going to do? Obviously, you're going to map it out, but you're going to want to have a blueprint, or you're going to want to have a foundation, right? And your confidence is the same way. So, and there's inner confidence and there's outer confidence. But today, my focus is just on the inner confidence because that is my expertise and that's what I focus on. So with that inner confidence, right? And you want to it's almost like you're doing brick by brick, layer by layer. You're building yourself up from the inside out. So when some shit does pop off, you don't get thrown off your game, or somebody makes a negative comment, you're not constantly twirling it over and over and over again in your mind, right? Because you don't know how to separate what other people say and the fact that they bring their own issue to you versus who you are because you have that solid foundation, right? You following me? Or if you have, a breakup or something else happens that tries to knock you off your game, or, you feel like you're in a groove, you're doing your thing, and then something happens, right? You have to learn as a woman that you need a solid inner confidence, meaning you need a solid inner foundation. And how do you build a foundation, right? You need tools, right? Think of these are my tools, right? You need tools in order to build a solid foundation from the inside out. So I want to share with you today 5 tools, right, that I know I have used in order to build up my confidence. But I also take these tools and I share them in a variety of creative ways with my clients in a variety of my programs, or even when I work with clients on a one-on-one basis, right? So let's go ahead and jump into it. So I have this acronym, which is simply the word tools, because you need tools to build up that foundation, right? So let's say the T, which is number 1 tool that you need in order to build up your confidence, right? Is that the first thing that I realized on my own journey, right? Is that you have to learn how to take care of yourself. You have to, and that's a tool in and of itself, taking care of yourself. Because as women, we give so much of our time, money, and energy to everybody else. So we're quick to give this person money, but when we get paid, we normally don't pay ourselves first and put something in our savings that we don't touch. Or we usually don't take care of our bodies in the way we need to. And we look up 3, 4, 5, 6 months, 6 years later, and we've gained an extra 20 pounds just because we're not taking care of ourselves. And as a result of those things, over time, that causes a lax in our confidence when we look up and we've gained weight, or we looked up and we don't have as much money saved up as we thought that we would, or we look up and we don't necessarily have the relationship that we would have desired, but we never took the time to take care of ourselves because we're so busy out here trying to hustle and do this and do that for this person and that person and do all of these other things that oftentimes we come a little lower on that to-do list. And when you come a little lower on your to-do list, it's very hard, even if you are really confident and even if you have a strong foundation. Once a certain amount of time passes, right? Say it's whether that's a year, 2 years, 5 years, 20 years, especially if your foundation wasn't that strong to begin with, it can start to unravel or it can start to get shaky. And then what do you do, right? That means you have to go back through the tools and repeat and do them again. That's why when it comes to confidence, it's almost like you're building up a muscle, or if you're trying to lose that little fat in your body, it's going to what? That fat's going to come back if you keep eating, the foods that make you fat. The same is true with your confidence. If you keep feeding yourself all of the negative energy and the negative vibes, then what is that going to cause? Insecurity, doubt, fear, worry. You following me? Versus if you're feeding yourself with things, and then this goes back to taking care of yourself, whereas you are feeding yourself not only healthy and nutritious foods to keep your body in check, but you're feeding yourself and you're listening to, other women or even men who you deem that are empowered and that, are certified or have whatever you need in order to help you feel like you are growing and developing in the way that you need to. So again, the first tool you need to focus on is taking care of yourself. Where in your life have you neglected yourself? Because therein there lies part of that confidence. Because when a woman is taken care of, she doesn't have anything to worry about, then you have time to be unapologetic and unbothered by stuff. But when you don't take care of yourself, then you get triggered very, very easily, and that ain't confidence, boo. Okay? So that's gonna bring me up to the O in my tools method. And the second tool that you need to do is you need to open up to God more. You need to open up to God more. So as I tell my clients, and I've been telling them this a lot lately, if you want to go higher with your vibration, with your confidence, you got to go deeper, which means that you need to work on deepening that relationship with God, because ultimately He has the destiny, He has the plan, and ultimately also He's the person that created you. So guess what? The best person to go to to help you build yourself up and stay built, okay, and stay confident is to go to the Creator. You have a direct connection and access. Go to the Creator and deepen that relationship. That means that y'all need to spend more time together. Maybe y'all need to do morning, midday, and afternoon and night, right? Maybe you need to do a little special date with God, but you need to deepen that relationship, because He's the one that will confirm for you who you are and how He sees you, or He will reveal to you if you ask Him to show you how to build that confidence, or to show you where your beauty lies, where your focus should be, right? He will tell you those things. You have not because you ask not. Ask. Stop waiting around for it, okay? So number 3 thing that you can do to build your confidence up, this is my next O, and tools, is to operate from a place of purpose. A woman that's fierce and that's confident, right? And she's really empowered. She knows her purpose. She knows her calling, and she's walking in it, right? She's not sending me questions like, oh, I'm trying to discover my purpose, or I don't know. No, instead, this is a woman who, even though she might have different talents and skills, she has decided, okay, I'm going to pursue one of these. See, maybe this one works. Maybe this doesn't work. Maybe she works a 9 to 5. Maybe she has a business. Maybe she has a side hustle. But either way, she's taking action. She's not sleeping on her skills that she know God has given her. She knows she has passion, and she knows she has different passions. She knows she has different interests, different talents, and she gives her time to those things because she treasures, right, what God has placed in her, and she follows that. And if that's something that you struggle with, then that's something that you need to go out and get help with, because when you know your purpose and you activate it, you instantly begin to build up that foundation of your confidence within yourself, okay? That's going to bring me up to the 4th thing, which is the L in tools to help you build up that confidence. And the L for this is learning to love yourself. Learning to love yourself, right? And I know that's something we say often, that you need to learn how to love yourself, but it's something that I can't reiterate enough. You cannot be a confident woman if you don't first love yourself, right? In order to love yourself, you really have to learn yourself. You have to become self-aware. You have to practice self-forgiveness, so you're not constantly feeling guilty and blaming yourself or shaming yourself for certain things that may have happened, in the past. That means that you're nurturing your body with the right foods, right? That goes back to number 1, taking care of yourself. Again, a woman that's taken care of, especially, you can tell a woman who takes care of her body, who takes care of her skin, who has, sought out and done things in terms of her purpose, and she's cultivated. You can see it. You can feel it when she walks in the room. You can tell a woman that's anointed, that's connected to God. Are you following me? You could tell. A woman don't even have to open her mouth, and you can see how these tools are operating from in her on the outside. Sometimes you might get envious of that kind of woman. You might be jealous of her. Other times you might admire her. But either way, you need to start paying attention because she is you, right? Think about what is she emanating from her that is also a part of you, because guess what? If she can do it and she can have it, so can you. Never think that's because someone else is operating in their purpose and in their passion and in their confidence that you also cannot do that, because she is you and you is she. So you can absolutely operate from it, but instead of being angry or jealous about it, how can you begin to cultivate that within your own self? That comes into that self-love piece. Self-love is simply you having a commitment with yourself that you are not breaking. So whether that's you committing to doing affirmations, if you so choose, whether that's you committing to doing, a confidence routine like I teach in Born Fearless Bootcamp for 21 days, you got to disciplined. And it's a program to help you discipline yourself so that you have those steps down. If that's a challenge for you, okay, there's help for that. It's in the age we're in, there is no reason. You can get a coach for anything. You can get a book on anything. Get a program on anything. They got an app for everything. There's absolutely you got Google at your fingertips. There's no reason why you should ever say, oh, I don't know what to do. That's not even an excuse. And a confident woman, there is no excuses. There are no exceptions. What a confident woman does is she goes out and she does. She does what she needs to do in order to build that self up, right? Because she is at a place in a space in her mind and in her soul where she's like, I am such at a place that I don't want to go back to where I used to be. I got to keep going. I got to keep building. I got to become my best self, because that's why I am here. That is my purpose, is to become that best self and to fulfill what God has called me to do. If you want to fulfill what God has called you to do, you got to become the woman he needs you to be to fulfill what he actually needs from you. Right? Just like in the Bible, he chose who? He chose Mary. She was chosen. He chose Mary to bring what? Jesus. He chose her. He could have chose any woman, but he chose her. And guess what? He chose you for something. The same is true with somebody like Esther in the Bible. She was positioned. She was prepared to do the things that she needed to do. He's doing the same thing for you. You are chosen. You are anointed, right? You are being positioned. You are being prepared. Are you open enough to seeing the signs, to hearing the wisdom, to connect to God? Because if you're taking care of yourself, it's easier to hear those things, and then you can step into purpose while you're loving on yourself, right? And that's going to bring me up to the last thing, which is the S in tools, right? Again, we're talking about the tools you need to build yourself up, build that confidence up. And the S in this is stepping out of your comfort zone, is what really is going to skyrocket that confidence. Stepping out of your comfort zone. The way you build yourself up is by having experiences and doing things that you might be afraid of. But once you do them, then you can go back and reflect on them. Once you do them, right? So say you're terrified to step up and say something to a certain person, but once you do, you feel just a little bit better, right? Then the next time something else happens, you have to say something you see how it keeps shooting up? Your confidence will keep going higher, 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 and higher, because you have chose to go deep within yourself. And even though you might be afraid or you might be scared, you have chosen to put yourself out there. As a result of that, inch by inch, you become unapologetic to the point where you're like, I don't even care what your response is. I don't even care what you think about me in this moment. This is who the hell I am. And this is how I'm operating. I'm not worried about what anybody else thinks, what anybody wants me to do. My focus is on taking care of myself, because when I'm taken care of, then I'm not pouring from an empty cup. I'm pouring from my overflow. Are you following me, right? Pouring from your overflow. So we got to make it about us, not because we're selfish, not because you can't be selfless and help others, but because it is important that as we build that foundation, when you walk in the room, remember who's walking in. God's walking in with you. You're walking in with this anointing that is around you. And that is even something you can start praying about. God, anoint my footsteps. Anoint my lips, that when I speak, I affirm myself, but I also affirm others. Lord, anoint my confidence, right? So that I walk with the ease and I walk with the flow. I walk with the spirit of abundance. I walk with the spirit of confidence. I walk with the spirit of affirmation and admiration. I walk in the room as my ancestors' wildest dreams come true, right? Like, you want to be on that level. Because when you're at that level, that means you done built it up, girl. You done built it up. You done built that confidence up. I know that was a lot. I know. But anyway, I hope that you can take this wisdom that I've shared with you. Again, these are things that I've done over the course of the last couple of years that I also teach my clients in very creative and deeply spiritual ways to allow them to elevate, right? You got to go deeper in order to go higher and get to that next level, right? So again, you got to make sure you're taking care of yourself. You got to make sure that you're opening up to God. Go deeper. Maybe you're already praying. How can we deepen that? Okay, you got to operate from your purpose. You don't know your purpose, girl, then you need to holler at somebody who can help you get to that level. Next thing, you got to learn how to love yourself, right? That's a whole other video. And you got to go look for that on my YouTube channel, right? And then lastly, step out of your comfort zone. Because once you do it once and you do it twice, you do it 3 times, let me tell you, never ever give up. Keep going. Okay, you got to keep going. All right, I hope that you have enjoyed these tools. If so, please make sure you go download my free confidence ebook at unleashyourfierce.com/ebook so that you can get some more tips and tools and get on my weekly email newsletter, because I'm popping, right? And I want you to be popping too, because I'm confident, boo. Okay, all right, I love you. Bye.